You're watching Bread and Roses, a weekly political social magazine that's broadcast in English and Persian via New Channel TV. Hello everyone, I'm Mariam Namazi.
And I'm Farid Bospuya. In this week's program, we'll be talking about atheism in Turkey. We'll interview Morgan Elizabeth Romano and Zahra Pada, the board members of Atheist Association of Turkey.
In Shocking News of the Week, we'll be talking about the increase in underage marriages in Iran. The Insane Fatwa of the Week is about how discounted coupons are like gambling.
And the good news of the week is new legislation in France that is forcing supermarkets to give the unsold food to charities.
Yes, stay with us. The Atheism Association in Turkey is the second public atheist organization formed in what is known as a Muslim majority country, the first being Morocco. In less than a year of its founding, its website has been blocked by a Turkish court, citing Article 216 of the Turkish Penal Law, which, quote, forbids provoking people for hate and enmity or degrading them. Rather, though, the association is provoking change for a better Turkey. Provoking enmity and hate, that's what the Turkish court thinks that the Atheist Association is doing. I always find it interesting how religion hates and provokes enmity against people who don't agree, like atheists, or people who don't toe the line. And then when you try to challenge that and say, excuse me, we also have rights, people have a right not to believe, suddenly that's a provocation.
Absolutely. In the religious sort of dominated sort of states, usually that's what you get. And it's very interesting now we have a huge atheist movement in Islamic ridden societies like Iran, Turkey, North African countries, because people have experienced religion, up to the eyeballs, and they, the direction and the mass sort of joining of atheism. In reality, atheism and recognition of that as liberating, it's huge. But the organized version of that is suppressed.
Yeah, what's interesting about this association, though, is the fact that it's public. It's a registered organization. We know there's an explosion of atheism in social media in particular, especially in countries where it's, an offense punishable by death or imprisonment. But here you have people opening up an office,
yes,
registering members.
Yeah, I think and this is great.
And
Morocco as well, as we mentioned in our introductory clip. And this is a growing movement. We have a lot of atheist organizations on social media. In Iran, for example, a number of atheist organizations who publicize atheism and discuss and debate vis-a-vis religious thought and philosophy. But in reality also, we'll see that there's a huge number of people who see themselves as atheists. But it's great to have public organizations.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's a good beginning.
Definitely. Now let's go and look at this wonderful interview with two wonderful women from the Atheist Association. Zahra calls indoctrination the raping of the brain. You've got to watch this. Welcome. I wanted to congratulate you for starting the first atheist organization in Turkey. Tell me how that was.
Well, it was really excited actually. I was living in Cyprus and it was 15 years I was in Cyprus, and it was not such a big deal to say atheist or if you do believe in something or not. But we were not even know about our neighbor's religion or something. That it was never comes up. So when I moved back to Turkey, when I saw the people are scared to say something, what they are thinking, what they are believing, it was so shock to me. It's just so normal, and why you need to speak about these things? It was a big question for me. So then I realized it's even became a criminal things. You can even go to jail for this. You can even get murdered by being atheist or non-religion person. And I was really shocked. And when I learned that there is something happening about the association, I was yeah, maybe I can be in. But then I scared because people has been talking so big. I was, it should be normal. I was still trying to understand why it's such a big risk. And my friend told me, we want you to be in the membership, board membership. I said, okay, I will think about that. But it was last day, I was still thinking. And then I said, no, I'm not going to do that. But then I asked to myself, are you going to feel comfortable inside of you by not doing it? Because it is the way you do things, it is the way you do feel. I said, no, it's not honest. I can't live with that things inside of me. I said, yes, it is going to be dangerous, but at least it's going to be honest for my life. And I said, go for it. And it was the last minute. I sent my ID copy, and I was running to meeting just for the have the sign up. But it was really scary and excitement as well. It was so confused feelings for me.
I mean, you've got quite a lot of members given the fact that it is so risky. Tell us about the numbers of people who've joined and how that's going.
We have a little bit over 100 actual members, but in supporters we have a lot more. We have people that volunteer their time, and we have people that donate the membership fee, but they don't want to actually be members on paper. Because when you are a part of a legal association in Turkey, you have to give your ID copy so people will know your address. Everything is on file with the government. And with the government being increasingly more religious and more religiously oppressive, it frightens people. We've had people come to our association, grown adult people. This one man was like, I have to say, in his late 60s, and he was like, so in just his emotion was so strong. He was so happy that we made this association. He said, my wife, my children, my family, nobody knows that I'm an atheist. So people are living like this. And to me, it's just like, it makes me very angry. And even though I'm not a Turkish person, I live there. I love the Turkish people that I know. I have made them part of my family. And if I have the opportunity to try and speak out about that, I will. So yeah, our membership is not that big, but our support is pretty great, I think.
You mentioned something really funny about someone calling you and asking how you can have cats when atheists actually eat cats and drink their blood. Tell us about that.
It was so funny. Normally, when people has been talking about that, I thought it is a joke because it can't be real things. It's just a joke. And when my friend called me, and she said to me, I heard that you're an atheist. I said, yes. But I was like, what a voice, that I can feel the energy. He said, I just can't believe. I said, what's wrong with it? And she said, but you do have cats. I said, yes. She said, but you're an atheist. I just couldn't get it. I said, oh my goodness, it's going to be real. I thought it's just a joke. Just, people are just joking about that. I said, yes, but I'm petting them. Okay, I will tell you things. I do feed them so they will be big and I can eat them, but they are not ready yet. That's why I'm feeding them. And she was still, I'm okay, I'm joking. And I had to explain her. But it was so surprised to me. Yes, people are thinking like this. It wasn't a joke. And facing with that reality was, wow. So then I do understand again, yes, we are doing such a big things because people need to have educated about these things. So it is what we are trying to do actually, because they know atheists as a bad people and we have no morals. We don't care about the world. We can cheat our partners, and we can do. I don't know if I'm able to say. I don't know, but you will cut if I'm not. We are doing the group sex every time, and we are drinking and we are just sleeping everywhere. It's like we have no normal life. Well, we have normal life. We have lots of people in the member board, and they have family, they have children, and they are just normal people. I don't know what normal means, but yes, they are normal people.
One of the questions I'd asked you earlier is why the need to actually register, given that there is added risk to that, and you had some good reasons for that. Can you explain that?
Absolutely. So, first of all, why should we not? because, I mean, somebody telling you not to do something makes me want to do it so much more. But also, as a legal association, we now have been invited to European Union delegation meetings. So there is this kind of international place where it's very helpful that we can get this recognition and have a voice. And also because it gives us standing to be able to stand up for these rights. Like there's this religious TV host, Nihat Hatipoglu, and he has been saying terrible things about atheists to his in his shows, and these shows have tons of viewers in the audience, and around the country people are watching this, and this is what they think. He's giving this wrong information, saying that we are, these untrue things. Well, as a person, what can I do about that? There's not much I can do about that. But as an association, we were able to open a lawsuit against him. And unfortunately,
Even we do know that we are going to lose.
yes, we didn't win. But the point is we did it. Like we were able to do that to bring attention to this issue.
As a final question, why is it so important to have an atheist association, particularly in a place like Turkey, in the region?
It is really important. First, we are trying to teach people being an atheist or non-religion person is not bad things. And we are trying to teach them how we are, who we are. And we are trying to educate people actually because they don't really know anything about these things. And if you have any problem, because you are an atheist or you are a non-theist person, if you will have any problem, if you need lawyer, we do give you the lawyer. So you will think, you will know that you are not alone. It's writing in our shirt is we are not alone anymore. So that's what we are trying to tell people, just you are not alone, we are not alone. So we are as a family. And there is lots of pressure. I have a friend and who has pharmacy, but in the village people, and they are all covered their hair, and they are really religious people. And on the Friday prayer time, he said he has to lock his office, and he is sitting out of the office and just waiting the time, so they will think that he went for the prayer. Because he said, if I will not do it, people will not come to my pharmacy. And there is lots of people like that. I have a friend who has the shop, and he doesn't sell alcohol because he said, if I will do that, other people will look at me like I'm evil, and they will not come to me, so I have to do that. And he's a drinker, and he's just, he's drinking, and he needs to feel able to do these things. But unfortunately, it's not. So we are a secular association. It's just, you can live together. You don't have to fight each other. You don't have to say bad things together. You can be just live as a normal human being. That's what we are trying to teach people. And we have lessons in the school. You have to have, as a child, you have to go and you have to read how to read a good Quran, life of the Muhammad and things, but they are little kids, so you are poisoning them. So we are against to do that. We are not against religion, but we are against pressure from the religion. So if you are teaching the little brain, for me, you are raping their brain. Raping is just not body things. For me, if you are raping the brain, it's the biggest rape. So we are trying to do that too. And if you are an atheist or non-theist person, if you have a child, if you don't want her or his to go to have that lesson, they say to you, no, it has to be. But you said, but I'm an atheist. But you have no right to say that. They said, okay, you are an atheist, but she or he has to go to that lesson. So we are trying to change this one as well. And I don't know if you ever seen the Turkish ID, I forgot mine. Our ID is pink and blue. Pink is for women, blue is for male people. So it is writing, when you do just burn, it's like you are Islam. It is writing there, it's Islam. So we tell the people, just go to the government and take it out and make it empty. So they will know that because they are thinking 99% in Turkey are Islamic person, because they don't take it out. But even our memberships, when they are giving to their ID, it is writing Islam anyway, but they are atheists, so they don't ask you. And before even it was writing virgin in my ID. Yeah, when I was 13, when I saw this virgin, I was like, what virgin means? And I asked to my mom, she was that means you didn't get married yet. How can you write these things on my ID? Now it has changed, but it was before like this. It's just, it's not humanist thing. It's not respect things.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed that interview. There were so many wonderful points in that. I mean, one of them was the whole emotional aspect of it. When Zahra talks about, someone who's like over 60 years old being really emotional, and the fact that, he hasn't been able to tell anyone he's an atheist.
Yeah, and it's amazing, and we'll see many of those. I think this is what people sort of struggle to against the very oppressive institutions, really. To come out and be openly be at one with themselves. And one of the things, growth of atheism is very closely linked with science and demand for science vis-a-vis religious indoctrination. I think that's a great thing to see.
But one of the things that's worrying too is the fact that Turkey has such a strong secular history, and with Erdogan's Islamization of that country, that you're seeing, its effects on people who are free thinkers.
Yeah, I agree, and I think what Zahra and Morgan are doing, I think, in Turkey is a great thing. And I think when you see an organised public bodies, continuing to work and attract a lot of members publicly, I think this is a great thing to see.
What was interesting too about what she said is something that we've heard often is how, this sort of monster that's made out of atheists, are you drinking your cat's blood and are you going to eat your cat? And, there's this joke among atheists in the West of how, they eat babies actually, they're such monsters. And, she says, we're very normal. We have families, we've got children, we're normal, whatever that means. And I think, that is the great thing about an association like this, because it does normalize atheism. It does normalize the fact that people can think differently, and it allows people the space to do that. Shocking news of the week is on underage marriages in Iran, and it should be called pedophilia, but unfortunately it's called marriages. Justice for Iran has just issued a report, and it's shown that in the past year 276,000 underage girls were married. 276,000, 109,000 teenagers gave birth in Iran. And if you look at the number of brides who were 10 to 14, it was 41,000 girls. And what's happened is there's been a huge increase in this.
Absolutely. With the Islamic regime coming to power and holding power, they've been publicizing marrying girls when they reach 9-year-old, and that's normal. There was a piece of legislation going through the Iranian Majlis saying that stepfathers could marry, just crazy, which was uproar in Iran.
Well, they've raised the age now to 13 for girls, but you can still marry girls at a younger age if the guardian permits, the male guardian.
And this
it's completely legal.
This is a sort of debate, and the references is to Islamic books and literature. But well, if we can call it literature. But the issue is that we've always had in Iran, in a really backward section, if you know that the most backward, small number of people who actually young people were married. But with the Islamic regime, this has exploded, and this is crazy. Look at these figures. I think this is important, Mariam. Look at this. We have had 1,289 mothers gave birth age 14 in
the past year.
In 2012-13, 275 birth to 13-year-old mothers, 50 to girls aged 12. This is criminal. 17 birth to 11-year-old mothers. This is just 11-year-olds being pregnant. It's just a marriage. They're actually being pregnant, and this is criminal. This is crime committed by the Islamic regime against children, and this is unbearable to actually. This is crazy.
Well, there's I think it's the UN that has said that forced marriages, which is what child marriages really are, forced marriages are a form of slavery, and they really are. I mean, it's unbelievable that children in the 21st century are married off, are having children. It really is a huge crime, and one that must be combated. The Supreme Scholars Committee, and we use that word lightly, in Dubai has issued a fatwa against coupons. You know coupons, where you get discounted items? It's banned. Because why? It's considered gambling.
Why?
Well, you want to... I can't actually repeat this because it's so convoluted and stupid. I've got to read it for you. But basically it says that these discounts, because they are availed of for a certain period, whether it's large or small scale, and possibly might not be used at all after a particular date. Hence, it is a clear act of gambling. Case closed.
I think it's the printed sort of coupons that they were. I think they might associate it with lottery tickets.
No idea. So you can't get discounts anymore.
No, I think this is wrong to get discounts. You've got to pay the full price. This is another sort of stupid.
Have you noticed how they're always in favor of capital and making sure most money is made out of people?
The smallest discount they don't like. No. It's crazy.
So, those of you, my dad included, who loves cutting out coupons, Dad, you think gambling's bad? This is gambling. You've got to stop it right now.
Now, this week's good news is from France, where the National Assembly unanimously voted in favor of banning supermarkets throwing away unsold food.
Not only throwing it away, they throw bleach on the food so that people can't go and pick it up and eat it.
To keep the prices up.
To keep the prices up. And we see that with lots of food being thrown away as a result of, it's all about prices, even though people are starving, in many places. And but the great thing about this is that finally they're not allowed to throw it away. They have to give it to charities or to use it for animal feed.
No, absolutely. And the fact that there's a huge food poverty. And we've always had this next to supermarket or next to food sort of producing companies. You had in society where people are starving in the same sort of locality, and people are actually looking for food from supermarkets. And I think it's a great thing that France has done. I think other countries need to take the same steps. In America, in Britain, I know there is a movement in Britain for people to actually go and save the food and give it to people. I think that needs to become law in everywhere. People shouldn't starve. Where there is food, they shouldn't starve.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
This is crazy.
I mean, there is criticism about this because some groups have said, well, this doesn't deal with the entire problem, which is overproduction or waste stream distribution. But nonetheless, it's an important step, the fact that people are hungry and these big companies are wasting huge amounts of food. It's a good step and an important one.
And I think it focuses, the attention on the fact that these are extra food and there shouldn't be people going hungry, and that's a good step that France has taken.
Yeah, definitely. And it's also something that, when you look at this issue, there is a lot of food waste. I mean, I think there's statistics that show that in France, for example, 7.1 million tons of food are wasted, including by consumers, mainly by consumers, by restaurants, by shops. And worldwide, it's 1.3 billion tons of food. So there's a lot of waste going on. And when you think about the fact that so many people are starving to death, it is really criminal. And so I think these sorts of things do help to raise attention to this important issue.
I agree. Well done, France.
Yep.
This brings us to the end of our program. We always like to hear your views, your comments, and from next week we'll have a segment responding to comments, suggestions, and questions that people have.
And we also want to remind you about our Patreon website. It's stuck at 16, so, guys, help us out here. We need more help. We're going to give you a lovely poster and lots of other wonderful perks if you are able to help us. And, I know we've been hearing about how much many of you enjoy our programs, so do try and help us, or at least tell your rich relatives about us if you can't help us yourself. I hope you have a wonderful week, and until next time, same place, we'll see you then. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Hi, I'm Mariam Namazi.
And I'm Fari Bospuya.
We're hosting a program called Bread and Roses. It's a weekly program that's broadcast in Persian and English in the Middle East and North Africa, primarily Iran as well. And it's also shown on YouTube internationally.
And we've been doing this since last May. We're coming up to our year's anniversary, and we've had quite a lot of fun making these videos.
We discuss taboo-breaking, free-thinking ideas. The Islamic regime of Iran has called us immoral and corrupt.
And that's why you need to support us. We are the alternative voice in Middle East and North Africa.
Of corruption and immorality. So do support us. Here's a short video from Patreon that explains how you can help us with even just $1 a week. That's nothing. Support us.
Patreon lets fans become patrons of their favorite artists and content creators. It's different than Kickstarter because it's not about one big project that requires lots of funding. It's more for bloggers or YouTubers or webcomics, anyone who creates on a regular basis. Here's how it works. When you become a patron, you're agreeing to give an artist a tip of an amount you set every time they release a piece of content, whether it's a new song, a video, or a recipe. You can set a monthly maximum to make sure that you're always within your budget. Choose an amount, enter your payment information, and you're done. Becoming a patron allows you to view and post in the artist's stream, and in exchange for your support, artists offer additional patron packages, which might include monthly Google Hangouts, music production tutorials, pre-sale concert tickets, or anything they can offer as a way to say thanks. Patreon, empowering a new generation of content creators.